Hello, this is not a spring chicken. We are still at the Consumer Electronics Show. Oh, actually, this doesn't look like the Consumer Electronics Show. Well, sometimes, of course, we have to do things back at the room because there's been so much stuff happening. Can you believe this? We're not always in the same place. But for now, we're going to bring Oldecam on with comments on the headlines of today. And how do you know we're live?
Because we're eating. This is the second time we've done this. Because there's going to be a thing in the vlog about not a spring chicken equipment.
You know, I can really test equipment. If I tell you it works really well, believe me.
If it survives her, then you know you're good.
I know. Remember the first time we told the guy from Sony that? He kind of looked at me like, oh, I don't know if we want
How did you do that?
I
know.
Very easily.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, I guess the news does continue, even though we're here at CES for the Consumer Electronics Show. But Verizon Chairman and CEO Ivan Seidenberg views broadband as the key to the consumer electronics breakthrough.
As we said the first time we did this, nobody gives a rat's ass about connectivity on television. You know what they want to watch? They don't want to play with widgets. They don't want to do email. They don't want to sit there and talk to their, their grandparents in Schenectady. They want to watch television. That's why they buy a TV set for. That's why they have a problem with the 3D stuff. There's no programming available for it. Because there's no programming available, why buy a 3D TV set? Which, folks, any set ever made will do 3D TV without active shutter glasses.
Shapiro, CEA's mission is to foster innovation.
Well, yeah, but the problem is, if you become nothing but a yes man for the industry, that's not fostering innovation. I mean, you literally have people in the press room that are afraid to say something negative because they're afraid they're not going to be invited back next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so part of it is CES, as you know, is here in Las Vegas, and the reason why we're talking about it so much is because, of course, we're here at CES. So there's a lot of news with technology and things that are going on, like tablets continue to reign over CES.
I've seen 2 tablets and a bunch of computers. Okay, what time is it? This is a laptop computer. They've always been able to take the top apart from the keyboard and carry the keyboard around because that's called Bluetooth. They're calling that a tablet. No. It's a laptop computer with a detachable thing. That's where they're counting on the one of the people in the press room said he was extremely disappointed by the lack of available tablets in a CES that was supposed to be featuring tablets.
Well, it was supposed to. A lot of it was supposed to be about tablets.
Okay.
And part of it is it's not as easy to find as you would think because there's not, for example, at the Consumer Electronics Show, there's an area with television sets, right? There's an area with, or actually big manufacturers like LG, Panasonic, Samsung, Sony.
But companies that don't manufacture computers are manufacturing tablets. We actually saw a company today. Was it Hands-Free or something?
Hands-Free.
Hands-Free, which basically has a nice little tablet that they're going to have available very shortly. That one, we actually got our hands on one.
Actually, you know what I liked about that one is that it had a USB port as well as an HDMI port.
That's right.
And earphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually do something with it.
Case with it too, so.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I did see one that acted as a case today with a keyboard. Right, and Sony spreads the 3D IP.
The one with the keyboard, they call that laptop.
No, it's the case.
I know.
It's just a case that you add to it.
Yeah.
But the case came from Vivitar.
Yeah. And
JVC unveils a 3D full 1080p camcorder.
Oh yeah, I saw the camcorder. It's got a 5:1 zoom with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and when's it available?
Basically, it's identical to the Panasonic one, which I thought was funny.
Oh, really?
Identical.
Yeah, and Sony spreads the 3D IP TV wealth.
Well, yeah, because Sony is stubbornly hanging to the active shutter glasses when LG is basically moving back and forth between active shutter and passive. And passive means it's only going to cost you like $10 for the glasses. Active shutter means it's going to cost you $125.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a difference. And in other news, besides, of course, gadgets and consumer electronics, are the troops to be cut in 2015, Gates says.
No, they're being cut and cut. They'll be, Obama promised the Democrats they're going to be out of Afghanistan starting in 2011. They're going to be out of Afghanistan because there is no support from the Republicans, because Obama has no plans of winning a war, and you're not going to keep troops in an area that he's made it certain of that, he's setting conditions that means you can't possibly win.
For jobs, signs of a recovery.
So,
And hiring to pick up in 2011, analysts predict.
I think they said it takes 350,000 jobs created a month to drop the percentage down 1% for a year. Obama got 103,000 jobs created in December, which they weren't because they were most of the part-time jobs that were created in January for Christmas, and 250,000 people dropped off the unemployment rolls. And if you need simple math, this is Obama, not mathematics. If it takes 350,000 people a month for 12 months to drop it by 1%, 103,000 in 1 month cannot drop the unemployment rate by 0.5%. That's not even possible.
A U.S. split on repeal of health care law.
No, they're not. The Democrats, the Republicans are completely against it, and only the left in the Democratic Party is in favor of it, and the independents hate it. Therefore, you are not evenly split, but they're trying to make it look like the polls all show that people are moving towards it. No, they're not. They're moving away from it.
And U.S. growth slows, but still envied.
That's the growth that just dropped unemployment by 0.5%. They admit on one hand, we've got to remember that a lot of this news comes out after. This morning they tell you how great it is, but we're doing this in the evening, and you hear the new stuff that doesn't make the national press. The local people get the stuff, so you find out, well, the growth isn't there that they said was there this morning.
Oh. And Honda puts hopes on the Civic, and the new design to debut at Detroit Auto Show comes at a pivotal moment.
I know, okay. They cannot get it through their heads. The reason why they are not selling cars is because, one, they are too expensive, two, people can't afford them, and three, they can't get financing for them. Someday they'll actually understand that.
And blacks less likely to have living wills.
Because they probably have less to leave people than a family that's been in business or owned property for hundreds of years.
And Obama tabs daily for chief of staff.
Okay, this is a guy that basically is supposed to he's a centrist that's going to bring the business people that Obama destroyed back to the Democratic Party. Well, you got to remember, when you throw somebody under the bus, they're not likely to be nice with you again.
And Obama says his mission is to accelerate growth in the United States.
Since the first of the year, I think they said he's added 550 pages of new laws, all of them damaging the business.
What?
Yeah. Environmental laws, health laws, union regulations, things that are basically meant to destroy business, and he's going to accelerate stuff. No.
And Facebook appears IPO bound.
Because under the new financial regulations that Obama put through with the usual suspects in the Republican Party to get it passed, that forces Facebook to become a publicly owned company, because they're taking investments from the public, which basically they're technically selling stock and not calling it stock.
Stanford quarterback Andrew Luck could be the #1 pick in the NFL draft, but says he's committed to stay in school.
Okay, earlier he was the #1 pick. Now there's been a change in the wording that could be. First of all, the quarterback from Auburn, who can not only run, he sets records for passing and running, which means he's the entire package. Like the Paul Hornung of the 21st century. Paul Hornung could pass, he could run, he kicked, he blocked, he caught, he did everything. This guy does the same thing, and he basically could be a quarterback, or he could run the option and stand as a running back next to the quarterback, and then they don't know who's passing the football.
And a Monty Bubbleism from the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom.
Okay, this one, this one has to do with that. Well, last time we went to a party, and the Asian contingent was there at the party. And you know the world is in trouble when young Asian ladies are throwing themselves at me because the Asian bodyguards that were with them were so stiff. Let's put it this way, when a girl drops her top in front of him, he just ignores it. You know the world's in trouble.